Hello, everybody. How are you? You all look so fantastic. My name is Teddy Margas. If I had my way, it would just be Teddy, like Cher or Madonna. I want to talk to you about how I came out of the womb a star. I was born at 11:31 p.m. And that's what it says on my birth certificate. And my mother tells me that in the delivery room, they had a TV playing, and the Tonight Show had started. It was ba-da, ba-da-da, ba-da-da-da, and I'm like sitting there waiting behind my mom's curtains, and it's like da-da-da-da-da-da. Here I am, welcome to the world, Teddy. And my mother held me in her arms, and she tells me that when the doctor spanked me, I didn't cry, I giggled. I kind of like to think of it as me coming out going, Doctor, what are you doing back there? I was raised Greek Orthodox, which means, to me, we celebrated everything a week later. That's basically it. And I loved it. I would go to school on Monday, and everybody was like, where was Teddy on Friday? And all weekend I would think, what am I going to tell them? When I walk into that class, late, of course, because you had to be fashionably late, and all eyes were on me, what was I going to say? Sure enough, Monday comes, I'm ready. I have my absent note from the church, ready to hand to the teacher. I waited outside a little bit. Everyone sat down. I walked in, handed the note to the teacher. I felt all eyes on me. I loved it. Loved it. Turned around, walked to my seat, and I just saw everybody, and I heard the whispers like, Teddy, 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 Teddy. And I was like, oh my God, this is so fabulous. And I took my seat, and the one person who I wanted to ask me where I was Eric. Eric was a little tiny pocket gay, they call them now, but we didn't know that back then. And I idolized him. He had parted hair in the middle, feathered back perfectly, not like my coarse Greek hair. And I was like, he's fabulous. He used words like, bitch. He would say, that bitch made me stay after class. I was like, Eric, you go, girl. Like, I didn't even know. Like, it just came out of me. Like, Eric, that's so fabulous. So Eric asked me, Teddy, and I was like, oh my God, what? Where were you on Friday? And I thought, oh my God, it's Eric. What am I going to tell him? I can't tell him I was in church. What am I going to tell Eric? I said, Eric, you're not going to believe it. I was in New York the entire weekend. Studio 54, yes. Liza, Halston, Bianca, on my nerves, I can't tell you. I got no homework done. I was this big. Eric and I, in that second, became inseparable. I mean, he was my bestie. We did everything together. We played jump rope. We played hopscotch. We were the last two picked for any sporting game, but we didn't care. We didn't care. We were like, girl, you want to play that? I was like, God, I want to play that. It was flawless. We were that way for years, and then his parents got divorced, and he moved away. And I had no more Eric. So I immersed myself into TV. I watched television 24/7. So much so that I remember a homework assignment that my first grade teacher, Mrs. He, I loved her, 2 E's, don't know why. Think she might have been a lesbian, not sure. Are you watching, Mrs. He? Think you might be a leslie. Anyhow, and she always wore like gym attire, and she wasn't the gym teacher. Like, hello, Mrs. He, worried about you. Anyhow, so she handed out the assignment, and she said, you're going to go home, kids, and you are going to write what you want to be when you grow up. Well, that was a no-brainer for me. I knew exactly what. I couldn't wait to go home. I ran home. I took off my backpack. I sat at the kitchen table where I did my homework every single night. I asked my mother for my favorite snack, which was a tray with a bowl of grape jelly, saltine crackers, and a mother-of-pearl spoon. I was this big. Because I used to love to pretend that the grape jelly was caviar. I was this thick. I would take the mother of pearl spoon so as not to compromise or break the acidity of the egg in the caviar. Pick it up, place it on the saltine, which in my mind was a Car's water cracker, and eat it. Crunch. Look at me. I'm flawless. I'm flawless. I sat at that kitchen table, and in my mind, it wasn't a kitchen table. I was Joan Collins, okay? That was a huge acrylic lucite desk, and I was the head of Colby Co. You know? I would move my hair forward so I would have Alexis wisps as I ate that caviar doing my paperwork, which really was my homework. And I looked at my mother who was washing the dishes, and I said, Mom, how do you spell star? My mother went, oh, God. And she went, honey, you don't want to be a star. They don't make any money. As a matter of fact, they're actors and they're poor, and you don't want to do that. Why don't you think of something else? So I thought, oh my God, I hadn't even thought about anything else. What else could I be? I have to be quick now because Mother is asking, what should I be? Mom, I know. I will be an ice cream man. Driving around in my beautiful white truck, ringing the bells, the kids would be obsessed with me, come around all over. They would idolize me. Mom, I want to be an ice cream man. She's like, honey, you don't want to be that either. I said, I like babies. My mom says, why don't you be a baby doctor? And I was like, okay, I'll write baby doctor. And I only wrote it because it made my mom happy. I just saw her happy, which made me happy. So I wrote I wanted to be a baby doctor, and my homework assignment was done. Yay, I could whack the TV. Laying in bed, I couldn't fall asleep going, oh, God, I don't want to tell Mrs. He I want to be a doctor. I don't want to tell her that. I want to tell her the truth. And went to class, turned in the assignment, sat at my desk, hands folded because I was the perfect child. Sat at my desk like this. Yes, Mrs. He. No, Mrs. He. And I thought, I can't, hello? I raised my hand. And Mrs. He said, yes, Teddy. And I said, can I talk to you in private? I was this big, okay? So I walked up to the desk and I said, I want to change my homework assignment. She's like, well, Teddy, it's already turned in. You can't change it. And I thought, oh, think quick, Teddy. I said, well, can I add a word? She was like, okay, what word do you want to add? I said, in front of baby doctor, can you put famous? And she said, I'll make a note of it, Teddy, and I will put it there. I said, thank you. And I walked right back to my desk. I was like, fantastic. I will become a famous baby doctor. Then I will quit and become a star because when I'm old enough, I won't have to ask my mom. My mother would say, you've got to stop watching TV, Ted. You got to go outside. You need fresh air. You need sunshine. You need exercise, Teddy. Just saying. Exercise now. You won't regret it later. Thanks, Mom. Didn't listen. She forced me to go outside to play. I said, fine, if I'm going to go outside and play, I'm going to play. And I went upstairs into my father's medicine cabinet, and I took a bottle of his blood pressure medication. And I opened it, and I emptied it. And I put the pills back, and I cleaned it out. I went into my room, and I got Tic Tacs, white little Tic Tacs, and I filled up the prescription bottle. I closed the lid. I then went downstairs to my family's wet bar. Sickness, this big, right? This big. I went downstairs to my family's wet bar, opened up the bar, took out a tumbler, filled it with 3 or 4 ice cubes, into the mini fridge, picked up a little Canada Dry ginger ale. Opened the ginger ale, poured it in, and I waited for the fizz to settle because now it was a scotch on the rocks. Scotch on the rocks, prescription drugs. I went out to play. I sat on our picnic table that we had in our backyard, shaking as if I were a fucked up alcoholic. Like, oh, God, it just doesn't get better, does it? I'm going to do the pills. And I would shake, and they would rattle, and I would love it. I would like Neely O'Hara. And I'm opening it, and I would say 3 came out, 5 came out. It doesn't matter. Just take them all, Teddy. Just do it. And my mother would open up the window. She goes, get in the house. Get in this house right now. Enough already with those games. Where did you get this stuff? I was like, I don't know, Mom. It's time for another pill. So she goes, you from now on are just gonna go, you're gonna play with your sister. That's what you're gonna do. I don't wanna hear no crazy games like that anymore. I was like, fine. I'll play with my sister. I love to play with my sister, executive secretary. She was the boss, I was the executive secretary, okay? I ran to my book bag and I pulled out my pencil case and I took out those little reinforcements. Do you remember them? Those little round white stickers with a hole in them so you could mend your loose leaf paper? I never mended loose leaf paper. I did a full set of tips. I did. I would peel off the reinforcement and just place it on my nail beds. This one. I'm waiting for them to dry, and then we can get on with the notes, okay? So my sister would come in with the boss. She had a cigar, and she'd be like, all right, I need you to take dictation. So I would get a pencil, and I was like, I don't want to break a nail. But here we go, and I would write, and I would type like this, and if I needed to use the phone, take the pencil and dial like that. Remove my earring very casually and say, hello, yes, she's very busy right now. She can't take her call. If I was really into it, I would cut them in half and only put the tip on so I had a French manicure. So it was my regular nail bed, but a little white half moon, and I'd be like, I am flawless. Look at how flawless I am. So I would put them on very, very long. Now they were glamourless. You know, and I couldn't do a damn thing. I would say to my sister, scratch my ass, I have an itch. Go, scratch it, scratch it. Then I would take a towel and I'd put a towel over my head, and my sister and I would stand in front of the storm door where we could see our reflection in the window and play Sonny and Cher. I was Cher. My sister's like, why are you Cher? I want to be Cher. I'm like, I'm taller. In an effort to butch me up and slim me down, my father said, hey, Teddy, how'd you like to try out for Little League? Daddy, you mean like audition? My father rolled his eyes and was like, yes, son, I mean like audition. I said, oh my God, this is fantastic. Yes, I'm gonna do it. All night I was thinking, what could it be for? What could I be auditioning for? I wish he told me, damn, do I need sides? What do I do? What do I do? Next morning I met my dad in the yard, and he pulls a baseball mitt out of a bag, and I looked at it like, what the hell is that, Dad? And he goes, put it on, it's a glove. I was like, it's not opera length, I don't understand. What is it? He's like, put it on. I put it on and it was hard, and I'm like, oh, okay, now what? He goes, I'm gonna throw a ball at you. I'm like, oh my God, I'm auditioning for damn Yankees. This is great, okay, what do I need to do? That's I'm gonna throw you the ball, you catch it. Grab it, throw it back at me. That's what we did in the yard. Dad would throw the ball, I'd catch it. He'd grab it, throw it back. Throw it, catch it, grab it, throw it back. This went on, and I was dying of boredom. I was like, Dad, this is like so boring. How long do we have to do this? He's like, fine, you'll be fine. We're gonna go right now to the tryouts. I mean the auditions. I get there, and it's my turn at bat. Now, my dad did not teach me anything about a bat. I had no idea. So the coach hands me a bat and says, go ahead, you're gonna go up to the plate. I was looking for China. Where's the plate? Where's the plate? He's like, there's the plate right there. I was like, huh, looks like a triangle, but okay. And I stood there like this with the bat. Tapping my foot like, OMG, this is taking forever. And the coach is like, you can't hold the bat like that. You gotta hold the bat properly. Hold the bat like this. And I was like, okay, temperamental director. I'll do what you direct me to do. And I'm holding the bat like that, and I was like, now what? He goes, they're gonna throw the ball at you, and when they throw the ball at you, hit it. I was like, okay. And this is what I did. Standing there, ball starts coming at me. I panic, and I go, ah! And I hit that motherfucking ball. so hard. It went way in the back. Because let me tell you something. There is nothing more powerful than this move on a queen, honey. She will F you up with that move. I will, So the ball went. Now what do I do? And the coach is like, you need to run. I'm like, where do I run? He goes, follow the chalk line. So I follow the chalk line. Not around my little diamond, around the entire field. And my father is in the stands going, that's my boy. I didn't make the team. Wah. So my father bought the team. Well, he didn't buy the team. He bought the uniforms. So they created a role, a position for me. And it was out field. But in my mind, it was off Broadway. And there I stood in outer space with my glove, staring at the little ants over there like, oh God, what are they? I can't even see what they're doing. This is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. And my uniform was so tight, the buttons were like, ah. I'm there like, oh, ah. Wow, this is terrible. Oh, I created a game. Started talking to my glove. Hey, girl. I was like, hey, girl, what are you up to? Nothing. Just sitting out here in outer space being bored. I'm like, me too. Ugh. Who would have thought we'd be set out here in the heat, the sun? Terrible. I know, girl. You know what you should do? The dirt looks dry. I said, what the hell does that mean? Pick it up, do a smoke bomb. I'm like, what? I would pick up clumps of dirt and go, bam, and then it would go poof, and I would go, oh my God. Now that's what was going on all up in here. This is what they saw in the stands, though. And my dad was like, that's my boy. Oh my God. Cut to high school. I never thought anything was wrong with me. I never thought anything I said or did, no matter how feminique, which is a word I invented, feminine and unique, however it was. I didn't think. I just thought, this is who I am. How can I not be who I am? And I got ridiculed in school for the way I held my books. Because I felt very comfortable holding my books like this and walking to the locker with my Dr. Scholl's. I didn't have Dr. Scholl's. I wish I had Dr. Scholl's. In my mind, they're going clack, clack. But I'm walking through the hallway and they're like, faggot. I'm like, what? Faggot holding your books like a girl. And I'm like, excuse me? I didn't care. That is how I held my books. And they would yell, faggot and faggot over and over. And it didn't bother me. Because I didn't even know what the hell faggot was. I was like, okay, fine. When I found out what faggot was, I thought, well, that's not possible. I'm so not a faggot, I have never slept with a guy. I've never slept with anybody. How can I be a faggot? Am I a faggot because in Spanish class, I like to look at the uncensored Spanish magazines and cut out the pictures of the naked Spanish men and put them in my pocket? Does that make me a faggot? Huh? Maybe. Am I a faggot because I masturbate to window treatments? Let me explain. My parents had a handyman. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. So he was installing a Roman shade that my mother decided to buy for my bedroom, and I'm sitting on my bed, and he had a screwdriver that was one of those manual screwdrivers, so when you pushed it in, it actually turned. So he was like, and he's like, huh, look familiar, huh? And I was like, what? I don't even know what he's talking about. Look, huh? it's like what you do to your dick, huh? And I was like, oh my God, I love him. I want to marry him. So beautiful. Oh. Cut to college. And I'm in the bookstore, and I'm buying my books for the semester. And out of the corner of my eye, in the corner right there, I see a magazine maybe I shouldn't have been looking at, but it said Cruisin' Cowboys. And I thought, I don't like Westerns, but let me take a look. And on the cover, there was two men, and they were hairy, just like my handyman. And they were real close to each other. And I picked it up, not even thinking anything of it, and I started thumbing through it, and I was like, oh my God. They did things in that magazine I never even thought about. I was like, okay, put it away now. Get out of this store. This is terrible. This is not where I need to be right now. I couldn't stop thinking about Cruisin' Cowboys forever. I went to college with my cousin, and we got fake IDs so that we can get into the club downtown, which was after hours. Yes. That meant all the other clubs, when they closed, all those people came to that club. So I had punk rockers, alternative, goth, rocker, gay, you name it, all in that club. And I'd like to think that when I walked up those stairs for the first time, showed my fake ID, got in, and saw that disco ball, shiny and glimmery and spinning and like a moth to a flame, I was like, oh my God, I'm home. I love it here. And then I heard, Teddy Margas? And I looked, and the voice sounded familiar. And guess who it was? Eric. He looked the exact same. He was little, although his voice was a little deeper. Not much, just a little deeper. And he had hair coming out of a tank top. I was like, OMG. Eric, what are you doing here? He was like, well, are you pissed that they closed 2-4? I had no idea what that meant. I was like, yes, I was so pissed off. How dare them close 2-4? Did you call the media? Like, what happened? And he was like, oh my God, you're gay? And I said, yes, I'm gay. And I was like, oh my God. I said I was gay. I didn't think about it. I never even thought about it. Yes, I collected pictures of naked men in Spanish class. Yes, I masturbated to window treatments. Yes, I fantasized that a handyman with a handlebar mustache would be my husband, but I didn't even put the two together. It wasn't even sexual. It was just like, oh, I get it. But Eric asked me, I said, yes, I'm gay. And I thought, this makes sense. I get it now. That's what this has been the whole time. I'm gay. And then Eric reached behind my neck with his hand and plants a kiss on me like, and my body was like, oh, my head is in a spin. My feet don't touch the ground. Do-do-do-do-do-do, because you're near to me. My head goes around and around. My knees are shaking, baby. My heart it beats like a drum. Oh, my God. Oh, my God, it makes sense. And I ran home, and I was so excited. Okay, I have a lot to do. I have a wedding to plan. I have to pick out a china pattern. I need to register. Oh, I'm so busy now. Let me call Eric and say, Eric, I can't do this all by myself. You have to help me. I just cannot plan a wedding by myself. So I called Eric. I left a message. My parents were like, we're going to your favorite place for dinner, Teddy. You want to go? I was like, no, I'm going to stay home. I have like some stuff to do for school. I sat by a phone that didn't ring. I went to that club every single night for 3 weeks, from the time it opened until the time it closed, waiting for Eric. And finally, on the 3rd week, he showed up. I was like, Eric, what the hell happened to you? I called, you didn't return my call. And he goes, oh, I was in New York. And I was like, this bitch is gonna pull the Studio 54 shit on me right now? After all this time, he's gonna call me on my lie? I was like, what were you doing in New York? And he said, it was Pride, girl. And I was like, that's fabulous. You could have called. He's like, girl, it was New York City Pride. I could barely walk, let talk. And in that moment, I knew Eric was a whore. Done. Done. I don't want to date or marry a whore. That is it. But I knew right then and there that it wasn't Eric that I was in love with or so excited about. It was the fact that I knew who I was. I was gay. I was flawless. I was spectacular. I was phenomenal. I was special. And I loved it. And if there were a pill to take today, I wouldn't take it because I am proud to be gay. Thank you guys. I'm Teddy Margas.